Hello. Today is Thursday, the 25th of April 2019, and the weather forecast in Lagos is 32 degrees at the highest. The lowest will be 26 degrees. And as always, remember to stay hydrated because we care. My name is Felicity Ezewuike, and this is Off the Press. With me this morning to discuss major headlines on the dailies is our in-house analyst, Samson Oloyede. Hello, Samson.
Good morning, Felicity.
Good morning. Thanks for coming in.
It's a pleasure.
All right. Putting you to the drill. We have this day newspaper for starters. AMCON by Courtney Beaker over Supreme Court judgment. That's the screamer on the front page of this day newspaper. We also have Buhari commends Ambode inaugurates legacy projects. That's also on this day newspaper. Just a quick rundown though. We have quite a number of them this morning. Punch, Sun, The Nation and Vanguard. Back to this day that you have on your screen now. Unsure of APC ticket, Bello plans to move to a Accord party. Who is this Bello? Is that the one from Kogi State? Find details of the story on page 6. And presidential commendation for Lagos State. The governor and the president is on the front burner this morning for this day newspaper. And we'll go to the very top of the paper. We have Agbakoba. 4 trillion naira revenue derivable from cabotage law implementation, says Nigeria is technically insolvent. That's Agbakoba speaking. Appeal Tribunal reserves judgment on Oshu governorship poll. Details on page 8. More weather reports for you on this day newspaper. That's just highlights on major cities. You might want to take a look at it. That's just it on that tiny space on just below the masthead. A quick look at the back page now. We have of China, BRI, and the road ahead. This is Olusegun Adeniyi, the verdict, speaking. There is a picture of the president, Chinese president, that is, Xi Jinping, on the back page. There you have it on your screen, okay? Samson, over to you now. Which of these would you want to speak on quickly?
Well, let's start with the AMCON by Courtney Nigeria Limited case over the Supreme Court judgment. It's an issue of both parties, denying who is owing who. There's the case of by Courtney Limited to pay AMCON 132 billion naira, and AMCON is saying that it's the aviation company that is owing it 119 billion naira. I think that would definitely linger a bit, but it should be resolved by legal means. And either ways, you get the feeling that for Courtney Aviation Nigeria Limited, an aviation company, it's not good when they're in such a tussle, legal tussle. It's not so good. Buhari commends Ambode inaugurates legacy projects. There have been questions as regards the inauguration of certain projects that were uncompleted, like the Oshodi bus terminal interchange, amongst other things. But you have to give credit where it's due, especially as regards the health sector. That's the Ayinke House, the Child and Maternal Institute that was inaugurated. It was developed from 80-bed facility to 170-bed facility. It has 5 theaters as well. So it's credible, and it's been equipped with state-of-the-art, medical equipment. So I think it's a good one in the right direction in terms of health in Lagos State.
What do you make of this particular one about, I think it's Kogi
yes,
State.
Is the Kogi State governor. Is not had it good over the last 3.5 years. The Kogi State governorship elections will hold in November. So it must be said that at this stage is unsure of getting the party's ticket. And when you consider what happened in Lagos, where the sitting governor could not get, a return ticket, it calls for worry for someone like Bello, who has had tussles from, the Senator Dino Melaye to other party chieftains. But going to Accord Party, you look at it again, is Accord Party a strong party within that state that can deliver the, political platform for him to emerge, for his second term? I doubt it.
All right, we go over to the Punch newspaper now, where we have this one, quite large. Shiites storm National Assembly, force reps to adjourn plenary. That's a picture of them on the front page. Let's see if there's a quick flip for you. A picture of Shiite protesters. There you have it. The Storm National Assembly to force reps to adjourn plenary over their demands for the release of their leader. You'll find details of that story on page 2. Let's just continue with that. What's on your screen now? You have power-drunk Latsma official brutalized punchman. That's something for you. Boko Haram received training within, outside Africa, defense minister speaking. And then you find on page 7, the story on we will ensure payment of 30,000 naira minimum wage. NLC is speaking, but many would wonder, how would this be accomplished? There is another screamer on the Punch newspaper this morning. At the very top of that picture, you will see NMA, MDCAN, Bash Ngige for saying Nigeria has more than enough doctors. It has 2 riders for you from the comment from Ngige and the response by NMA, who says we don't have enough doctors. We have more than enough. You can quote me. There is nothing wrong in them traveling out. That's a minister speaking. And then, of course, NMA is saying it will take Nigeria 15 years to have adequate number of doctors, and that is if none of them leave the country. MTN Nigeria Limited changes to PLC, a bit of business for you, and National Assembly to pass 2019 budget on Tuesday. Details of that is on page 3 of the paper. And then, of course, courts reserving judgment. Oyetola asks appeals courts to overturn Osun Governorship Poll Tribunal's verdict. Details of that on page 9, like I said. On the back page of the Punch newspaper, we have Atiku is more citizen than most of us. Thursday with Abimbola Adeleko. That's it. And then, of course, this picture that is quite expressive in itself. An overloaded vehicle on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. And people are right on top of it. There you have it. I wonder how people put themselves at risk like this on a daily, actually. Let's start with that little picture. When you see pictures like this, Samson, what comes to your mind?
The risk at which the people who climbed onto such, trucks, the risk they're underneath in terms of probably falling off, accidents occurring and all. And then it calls to question, the place of the FRSC here, the officials who are meant to be on, at the roadsides to catch the faulters like this, because it's not nice, it's not good, it's very risky, and it's not safe. It doesn't make the roads safe. And we've seen this several times on Lagos roads. Sometimes it's those who probably went, shopping foodstuffs. You see piles of vegetables or tomatoes, and you have people sit right on the truck. It's not safe at all.
All right, let's go to the big ones this morning on the Punch newspaper. Which would you want to take on, the Shites or the NMA and Ngige?
Well, everything. Let's start with the Shites. It must be said that Tuesday, El Zazaki clocked 68. So the protest was a way of reinforcing once again that they demand the release of their leader who celebrated his birthday just 2 days ago. So that was what happened. And we learned that there were so many in number that the police force within the National Assembly complex were overpowered, so they had to lock the gates, and then they had started shaking the gates.
As you can see,
they were trying to shake it so as to open it. They were able to open this, but they were not able to get into the main, complex itself. So security breaches here and there, you want to call it, and the representatives were forced to adjourn because the deputy speaker was the one who was, handling the plenary session at the time. That's Yusuf Lawan, and he was able to, Lasun rather, I beg your pardon, and it just had to, adjourn for safety reasons. I think they will keep on demanding for the release, and it's yet to be seen if the government would adhere to any court judgment or whatever, because we've seen several court judgments that were not honored by this government, from Dasuki's case to El Zazaki, a whole of them. But I think that the protesters will definitely keep on agitating for the release of their leader. To the NMA and, the Minister of Labor's saga, I think the minister got it wrong. When you say we have sufficient doctors in Nigeria, it's not true. Based on statistics, currently we have 40,000 doctors in Nigeria, catering for over 200 million people. It's not done anywhere. The World Health Organization says that for there to be a perfect, or rather a very good, health system in place, there should be a doctor-to-patient ratio of 1 to 400 or 600. So if you have a doctor taking care of, in quote, 600 people, that's the ratio the World Health Organization expects. But what we have in Nigeria is not even close to that. 40,000 doctors to over 200 million. And it calls once again for concern the fact that our best hands in terms of the medical practitioners are leaving the shores of the nation for greener pastures abroad. It leaves us, depleted in terms of the number of medical personnel we have, in terms of getting adequate care. And you really can't blame them. I mean, we've had so much to talk about as regards our health sector in terms of lack of infrastructures, basic equipment they need, hospitals and medical centers not being up to date regards, the state-of-the-art facilities. So all of these definitely has to play in the decision of medical practitioners to leave the shores of the country.
Isn't it worrying that the minister, who should know better about the employment rate in the country, is comfortable, so to speak, going by the quote that we have enough doctors in the country?
Now, what he is saying is the few ones who leave, they tend to set up medical centers back here in Nigeria, even while abroad. But the truth of the matter is, despite the fact that, yes, you have a couple of them who have set up medical centers back here in Nigeria, we are still lacking in terms of adequate hands, adequate medical practitioners. And now let's even refer back to one of the legacy projects of Governor Ambode. That's the Ayinke House, the Institute of Child and Maternity that we talked about. Yeah. I said earlier that it was upgraded from 80 bed facility to 170. As we speak, that is the best in the whole of Nigeria. As we speak, the 170 bed facility for Child and Maternity, Institute. Now, if you have that as the best in Nigeria, it says so much as regards the state of our health sector, that we don't even have basic equipment, we don't have basic infrastructures in place. How much more having the personnel to, operate the equipment and give the people the desired care they deserve.
All right, we move now to the Sun, the Daily Sun newspaper. A couple of headlines here. Still under commissioning by the president. All the papers seem to pay attention to it. With the exclusion of Punch, at least they have a different picture on their front page. But the Daily Sun has this one. It says, reps adjourn abruptly as Shiites storm NAS. Senate to pass 2019 budget Tuesday. Details on page 4 and 7 on your screen is the enlarged version of the paper. 96 million GSM subscribers in trouble over registration, and NCC verifying details. Plan to sanction telecom marketing chiefs over breach. That's a bit of a business there. And of course, the situation with the minister and NMA NAD on the number of doctors captured again on the Daily Sun will end Tinubu Saraki rift. Kalu speaking. Oshuguba Oyetola APC urge appeal court to uphold results. We also have measles outbreak hits Katsina, Borno, Yobe. Over 200 million children worldwide miss vaccination. That's the statistics from UNICEF. Okay, let's see what's on the back page now. Pascal Agbodike Public Forum, and today he's talking about honoring and motivating communication professionals. That's for you on the back page of the Daily Sun newspaper. Honoring and motivating communication professionals. Samson, let's talk about this rift.
The rift is getting messier by the day. You have the media personnel of both men at the forefront trading words. I think it's not needed at this point, but it's all about the performance of the 8th Assembly and then the expectations, that the 9th Assembly have. Now, I'm sure this rift stemmed from the way Saraki marched as the Senate President, which was against party orders in 2015. Either ways, you get a feeling that if Kalu interferes, as he claims he will probably have a sort of ground to be able to bring both men together. Do not forget that when Tinubu was governor of Lagos and Saraki was governor of, Kwara, Kalu was also the governor of Abia. That's from 2003-7. So they were very good friends at the time, and you just get the feeling that maybe he would use his clout to just pull, a bit of unity,
Restraint.
between them. But I still think it's one of the things we see in Nigerian politics, and generally, it's something that will be settled. The Osun State case is one peculiar one, the appeal court ruling. APC's case against the tribunal's ruling is the fact that the justice who delivered the judgment and wrote it, Justice Peter Obiora, was not even involved in the proceedings at all through. So how do you write and deliver a judgment when you are not even involved at all? That's the point they're arguing from, and that's actually a strong one. Now it's left for the Justice Jami Sankey-led appeal court to see if they can come up with by that idea and rule in favor of the APC. But either way, you expect this case to get down to the Supreme Court. Because if Adeleke wins again at the appeal, I'm sure Yitola will take it to the Supreme. If Yitola wins at the appeal, it's definitely Adeleke will take it to the Supreme Court. So it's one that we need to keep our tabs on. The measles outbreak in Katsina, Borno and Yobe is a bit worrisome. Worrisome in the sense that Borno and Yobe, due to the security challenges there, the unrest, how do you get vaccines over to the children there, in the midst of the whole soft targets that Boko Haram operates on, within those states. That's a bit of worry, but it's something that we should treat quickly. Measles is a child killer, and it has to be tackled as quickly as possible. And if the WHO is saying that over 200 million children worldwide, miss out on vaccines, 20 million, miss out on vaccines, then it tells you that we shouldn't joke with measles, especially at that region.
All right, let's see if we can beat time with the analysis for the Nation newspaper. That's coming up right now on your screen. Buhari will improve lives with high-impact facilities. That's it. It has one rider. President hails Ambade. We used our resources well, says Governor. Still on the visit of the president to Lagos State. We go inside the Nation newspaper. At the very top of that picture, you will see federal government to raise non-oil revenue through aggressive tax collection. A bit of business on page 7 of the paper. And then how to end insurgency by Buratai. Well, I'll just leave it. I'll just read it again and say, how to end insurgency by Buratai. His picture is there. You know the man himself. There seemed to be a way. You might want to go read it so you know how to end it. All right, appeal tribunal fixes verdict on Oshu poll. You find details on page 10. And fear of Shiite sends reps packing. That's how the Nation is reporting that particular one. Senate shifts passage of 2019 budget. A man hires kidnappers to abduct mom. Jigawa monarch defends Atiku. That's Chukwu gets Otedola $50,000 check. That's about 18 million naira.
Yes.
Yeah. For his health challenges. Many would say thank you to Otedola. All right. On the back page of the Nation newspaper, we have Benga Omotosho today. He's talking about lessons of Easter and our troubled polity. Hardball is also here. How to kill a writer. Please don't come and kill us. All right. The Nation newspaper for you this morning. We've talked about most of what is captured on the front page. But let's take a look at this one about man hiring kidnappers to abduct mom.
The incident happened in Edo State, and it was shocking because the story didn't have the reason, the motive behind such an action. But it must be said that it's awful. Kidnapping is not, condoned anywhere. It's something that should be frowned upon. And when he does that to his own biological mom, he raises more questions than answers. Why? Was the motivation about trying to extort money from them? Or was it some sort of revenge, for whatever wrong they've done? A whole lot. It's good that the the police force have, arrested the suspects. The man in question is still on the run, Kingsley, but his, cohorts have been arrested. So we expect, more investigation and justice to be delivered. Kidnapping shouldn't be, condoned. Senate. Well, 2019. Let's see. All the committees have finished work. They finished the scrutinization. So it's back to business. And on Tuesday, I just hope that there will be no protest again, and then plenary has to be adjourned. So we hope that the 2019 budget will be passed on Tuesday. That's what it is for now.
All right, Vanguard's up now. Our free web operators threaten national security. That's according to experts. And then it has 2 riders to that story. FRSC to penalize indiscriminate parking of tankers. That's also on the front page as reps move to probe $27 billion oil revenue loss to IOCs. Elza Zaki, we've already captured that story in all the papers so far. We go to the very top of the Vanguard newspaper where we have Lord, give Nigeria bold and incorruptible judges. Amen. And then Lagos visit, Tinubu absent as Buhari honors Ambode. And we have emotions as Ugwani Amaju visit Chairman Chukwu. We've also captured that story. Probably talk about it in sports when we get to that point. The back page of Vanguard is sports. So just pick your brain quickly on the Vanguard and then we'll shred.
Well, Lord give Nigerians bold and incorruptible judges. It calls for concern as well when the last hope of the common man, which is the judiciary, which should deliver justice, has been it's been enshrouded with so much controversies and corruption scandals and all of that. It's not a good one. So the people definitely would just hope that we have more judges, who would be able to stand for the truth and be free and fair and credible as the job, expects them to be. But regardless of that, let's talk about the Tinubu being absent from Ambode's, honor, so to speak. His media person said that he was out of the country. He's been out of the country for over a week, and he had he has scheduled his, plans before the governor, had slated the day for the commissioning of the project. Now that's why he's absent. But it also raises concerns that it seems the rift between the Godfather and the Godson.
That's still on the speculative
speculation,
realm. All right, your thoughts quickly on this before we go to sports.
Free web operators threaten national security. Yeah, that's as regards the OTT, the over-the-top services, and that's services such as WhatsApp, Snapchat, Facebook, and the rest of them. The reason is because people can easily pass information straight up into the internet and communicate to everyone without going through certain regulations, yes. And that's where the issues of probably hate speech will come from, and all of that. So it definitely raises concerns as well, because the scandal we had in New Zealand, someone had to stream live, a live massacre.
Yeah.
And those are the concerns that the experts are raising in that regard.
Okay, let's see what we can squeeze in sports before we wrap things up. Complete Sports is up next for review. We have City back on top as Bernardo's son seal Manchester derby win. Sloppy Gunners, Arsenal's top four hopes left in tatters after Molinet's mauling, right?
Yes.
Okay, we also have something here on Iwobi fails to impress. Eaglets pay the penalty. Nigeria denied under-17 AFCON final tickets. And then Chukwueze eyes sixth La Liga goal. The PSG to offer Sergio Ramos a lucrative contract. Pogba wants out of United. Okay, so many headlines here. For you as a sports analyst now, which is the biggest screamer on the Complete Sports this morning?
City back on top.
Okay.
That's a big one. Let's start from the home front. Eaglets, pay the penalty. The Golden Eaglets on the 17 crashed out of the under 17 African Cup of Nations yesterday. They lost on penalties to Guinea after a goalless draw. And it must be said that they had their chances. They squandered it. They were profligate in front of goal and they paid the price. Penalties, lotteries, the lads would learn from that. But it's good to know that we've secured the World Cup tickets. City back on top. The Manchester derby was expected to be like a banana peel, where they could probably drop points and it would be advantage Liverpool. That didn't happen, and it's City right now in cruise control. They're a point ahead of Liverpool with 3 games left to play. All they need to do is win all 3, and then they retain their title. So it's good for City.
Yeah, we're out of time, but I want to get your thoughts quickly on this
Chukwu. Well, it's about the $10 presentation, the 18 millionaire or $50,000 check, as it were. The Enugu State Governor was there, Ugwai. You had the NFF president as well, Amaju Pinnick, in there. So it's good to see that a legend who's done so much for Nigerian football is being offered the help that he deserves. And we just hope that he gets back to his feet as quickly as possible. We'll be traveling very soon to London for treatment. That's it.
All right, that was from the back page of the Vanguard newspaper and wrap things up nicely at this hour. Thank you very much, Samson, for coming in.
Pleasure.
And of course, thank you for watching. This has been Off the Press. Do stay tuned for more programming here on Plus TV Africa. My name is Felicity Ezewuike.